So to begin with, on these problems, what we're doing is we're gonna write each expression as a sum or difference of logs. And you want to know these properties. These are kind of the three main ones that we're going to talk about here today. So if you have a log of a product, then you break it up into the sum of two logs. If you have a log of a quotient, then you break it up into the difference of two logs. And anytime you have a log of a number to a power, the power can come down in front of the exponent, okay? So what we're going to do is just kind of write these out. So this one right here, the way you would write this out is you would say log base 4 of y minus log base 4 of 8. Okay, and that's all I'm going to have you do. We're not going to simplify it or anything. You could probably do something with that log base 4 of 8, but I'm not going to go there on that. Okay, the next one, what can you do with the 6? You can bring it in front. Okay, that's what property 7 says. So that would be 6 times the logarithm base 7 of x. Okay, just trying to get you comfortable with logs. We'll put these to work here in 6.6. In this section, we're just learning them. Okay. All right, the next one, you have a log of a product. So how do you write that as two logs if it's a log of a product? Sum or difference? Which one? Sum. Good. Okay, so what you say is you say ln e to the negative x plus ln of y. One other thing you can do, what can you do with this negative x since it's an exponent? Where does it go? It goes down in front. Okay, that's your property. So that's going to come down in front. So you would have negative x times ln of e plus ln of y like that. Okay, that's how you use properties to split that up. Now that leaves you with the other thing, ln e, which is going to show up a lot in this class and higher math. That just means log base e of e. What's the answer to that? What power of e is e? 1. Okay, that's 1. E to the first is 1. So this thing would give you negative x times 1 plus ln of y. So that's going to be negative x plus ln y. Okay, so that's as far as you would take that. So if you have something you can simplify, then you definitely want to go ahead and do that. Okay, I just kind of bypassed the log 4 of 8 on that problem. This one you don't take all the way to the end. Okay, this one is again a log of a product. You have a product of two functions, so you're going to break this up into the sum of two logs. So you'll write this as ln of x plus ln of square root of 1 plus x squared. Don't worry about the greater than or x greater than 0. That just means x has to be greater than 0 because you can only take a log of a positive number. That's why that's there. Okay, now what you can do with the square root is you can write that as a 1/2 power. So you want to take this further than this. You want to go ahead and bring the ln of x down. You want to rewrite this as ln of 1 plus x to the second to the 1/2. Okay, there's one other thing you can do. What is that? Say something. I'm checking you. Okay, what can you do with the 1/2? Bring it down. Okay, that's the property. So that thing comes down in front like that. So you'll have ln of x plus 1/2 ln of 1 plus x squared like that. Now that's as far as you can take that problem. You've expanded it out using those properties as far as you can. You can't do anything with this. A lot of times I'll see students go ln 1 plus ln x squared. Can't break that up. That thing is done right there. You can only do log of a product breaks up into a sum, and log of a quotient breaks into a difference, to subtraction. That's the idea. Okay, is everybody with me okay? All right? Okay. All right, let's do a couple of these that are have a little bit more involved here. Then I'll let you try a few just to see if you're comfortable with this. Okay, so this one is a log of a fraction. So how do you break it up if it's a log of a fraction? Into two logs? Difference. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to do log, and it's a log base 10, so that would be log of x squared minus 1 minus log of cube root x minus 2. So kind of like the last problem, what could you do with that cube root? Write it as a third, right? And then bring that third down. Good. So you'd have log x squared minus 1 minus log x minus 2 to the 1/3 power. So you're going to do that a lot on these problems. And then the 1/3 comes down in front. So what you would have then is you would have log of x to the second minus 1, and then minus 1/3 log of x minus 2. Okay, and that's as far as you can take that out. Again, you can't break up log x minus 2. That's done. You can't do anything with that. Okay? All right. Okay, now next one. We're still trying to use all these properties. What you got to see on this one is you have a function, a one big function to a power. So you have to start this problem this way. Well, you have a log of something to the third. The 3 comes down in front of the log. You can't start this problem any other way. So that's going to come down. You'll have 3 times log base 2 of 2x minus 3 over x plus 1. Okay? And what are you going to do with this thing right here, since it's a fraction? Difference, subtract, exactly. Okay? Be sure you write this carefully. So the 3 is you're going to have to put a big grouping symbol on this now, because the 3 is multiplied by the result. So you'd say log base 2 of 2x minus 3 minus log base 2 of x plus 1. Okay? And part of the reason why we're learning these properties, in the next section we learn how to solve exponential and logarithmic equations, and you oftentimes have to use these things in order to do that. Okay, if you're going to go to calculus, lots of times when you have to use these properties, okay, they show up a lot. Okay, all right. So let's see. I'm going to let you guys just give you a few minutes to just try the next two and see what you can do. Okay, you're basically using those 3 properties. Log of a product is a sum, log of a quotient is a difference, and then that exponent gets brought down. You got to do these in a certain order when you're doing these though too. Okay, and I'm going to shut this off while you're working on it, and then we'll compare answers here in just a second here. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'll put these up here and see if you're getting these, if you're on the right track here. There's only a couple of steps. These are not ones that have a whole lot of steps to it. And you have to kind of do this in a certain order. So with this first one, you got to start by, you have a log of a product would be the sum, like that. And then you're going to bring down the exponents like that. So that's what you should get. You don't go any further than that. Is everybody with me there okay? All right. Okay, this one right here, sometimes I'll see students do this out of order. You got to start, that whole thing is a square root, so you want to write the whole thing as a 1/2 power. Okay, like that. Then bring the half down. Then that's a log of a quotient. So make sure you have a half and make sure you have a grouping symbol there. That's important. Then log base 3 of x plus 1 minus that. That's it. That's as far as you can go. Okay? Does everybody understand? Okay? All right. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with that. What we're going to do next is we're going to do this backwards. So we're going to take several logs and try to put it into one log. That's the next thing, okay? All right, so let's take a look at these on this last page here. We'll finish this up, then we'll start on our next section here. Okay, so what you got to do on this, you're trying to write this as a single log and then try to simplify if that's possible. Okay, so the first thing is, what do you think you could do with the 2 that's in front of a log? I can move it somewhere. I can move it to the exponent, right? So I'm just kind of doing backwards what I did on the last problems. So I'd say log base A x to the second plus, and same thing here, I could do log base a of y to the 1/4. Okay? How do I put that in one log? Since it's adding. You multiply, right. Okay, so this one would be that property in reverse. So what you would say is log base a of x to the second y to the 1/4. That's good enough. Okay, we're not going to simplify that any further. That's good enough. Okay, when we get in the next section, we're going to do this a lot when we solve equations. So you want to be pretty comfortable with that property. Okay, all right. You always got to do these in the right order. On number 2, what do you think the first thing is that I should do? Yeah, move the 2 up to the exponent. Right. Anytime you have a number in front of the log, you need to go ahead and put that up in the exponent before you put it together. So that's going to be the log x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus the log of x plus 1 to the second. All right, how do I put those together in one log? Because it's minus, what do? Log of a fraction, right, good. Okay, so it goes like this. You would have log of x squared plus 3x plus 2 all over x plus 1 to the second, like that. Now we're going to go ahead and simplify this. So I think this thing will factor. Okay, so I think we can go through and we can factor that. So I'm just going to write this as log of, and then that will factor as x plus 1 times x plus 2. And then the bottom is just x plus 1 squared, so I'm going to write it out twice. So you can go ahead and you can factor that argument and simplify that, so you would get log of x plus 2 over x plus 1 like that. So sometimes you can go through and simplify the expression when you do that, okay? But again, you start with bringing the number up to the exponent, then putting it together with a product or a sum or a quotient. That's the idea, okay? All right, next one, we're going to do basically the same idea. Bring the 1/3 up, bring the 1/2 up. So you're going to have logarithm x cubed plus 1 to the 1/3, and then plus logarithm x squared plus 1 to the 1/2 like that. Okay, and this one you're not going to be able to simplify much, but you would put it together in one log by doing what? Log of product, right, multiply. Okay, good. Okay, so you would write this as log x to the 3rd plus 1 to the 1/3 times x squared plus 1 to the 1/2. Okay, and you can't really do anything with that. You could change those things back to square roots, but you don't have to. So that would be as far as you'd want to take that. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Is everybody okay, or any questions about what I did?
I have a question.
Sure.
How do you know how far to take it down?
When you get down to one log, first of all, you're always trying to get it down to one log.
Right.
Okay, and then all you're going to look for really is, like on this problem that I did before, you want to think, okay, just focus on that. Is there any way to factor and simplify that? If you end up with a fraction, you want to see if you can reduce that fraction. In that case, it's factoring and reducing. In this case right here, there's nothing you can do. You could change that to a 4th root of y, but you don't have to. So you're just looking for anything that cancels or factors. But once you get to one log, then you're done. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, all right. Everybody else okay? All right, okay, let me shut this off and then